We welcome you to Atlanta, Georgia on this Sunday afternoon in Turner Field, the site of Game 3 of this three-game set. It's the rubber game between the Pirates and the Braves. Hi again, everybody, with John Wehner. I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie Makowski joins us shortly. The Pirates walked off last night in Game 2 after winning Game 1 Friday night. Andrew McCutchen had a home run, a two-run shot. He continues to get it done. And, Rock, he is making the month of April look like a distant memory for him.
He always heats up in these middle months of the season, but he's always hit this year with runners in scoring position in the top 10 in all these ranks except for plate appearances. But almost a 1.4 OPS, sixth in the National League with a 417 batting average, 1.3 at bats per RBI. Yeah, he's definitely getting it done in the clutch.
Andrew McCutchen, the subject of our Barrel Automotive League Leaders stat. The dynamic duo behind the plate, quite a tandem. Chris Stewart and Francisco Cervelli combined, they have the highest average among Major League catchers at 335. There you see their individual numbers.
Yeah, you're worried about replacing Russell Martin, but these two guys have certainly done a great job. Nobody's hit better in the month of May than Francisco Cervelli average-wise. Chris Stewart, his starts here and there, has done a great job. The 6 doubles he has, he's 6 for 11 in his last 3 starts. He's been outstanding as well. These guys ain't doing it behind the plate. Don't forget that.
Cervelli and Stewart, the catching duo, but the battery will be Chris Stewart and Garrett Cole today as the right-hander looks for his 9th win of the season on a warm Sunday afternoon. Garrett Cole and Alex Wood, one more for the road from Atlanta.
Helps you get the most out of your drive. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places. By Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. And by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucks.
Pirates and Braves getting set to wrap this one up. As A.J. Burnett and Starling Marte have a little pregame conference in the Bucks dugout. And the Braves starter, Alex Wood, taking the mound here at Turner Field. And Wood, the lefty, And with a lefty, different looking lineup for the Pirates this afternoon. Josh Harrison will lead off. Jordy Mercer second. Andrew McCutchen last 28 games hitting .396. Marte back in the cleanup spot. Jung Ho bats fifth. Tabata sixth. Sean Rodriguez playing first base. Chris Stewart bats eighth. Garrett Cole ninth against the southpaw for Atlanta.
Alex Wood, tall drink of water, 6'4", 215. Will make his 11th start, 4-2 with a 3.19 ERA. Three-pitch guy, fastball, curveball, changeup. And fastball will average about 90 miles per hour. Throws it the majority of the time, almost 2/3 of the time.
Wood out of the University of Georgia. He is certainly happy to be a Brave. Jace Peterson back out there at second base. He's missed the first 2 games of this series with a thumb problem, but back out there today. See Freeman alongside him at first, Simmons at short, Uribe at third. Cunningham, Maben, and Markakis, the outfield. A.J. Pierzynski back doing the catching. Wood climbs up on top of the hill, and we're ready to get going here with Harrison in the batter's box. First pitch of the game. Taken low for ball 1, and we are underway. The wind and the 1-0. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Harrison starts the day, 255, 4 home runs, 18 runs batted in. And you take a strike there, 2-1. Josh hit in the 5th spot in last night's game, went 0 for 4. Back to the leadoff spot today. 2-1, and this one's hit well to left field. Backing up on it is Cunningham. He won't get it. It's off the wall. And Jay Hay is in with a leadoff stand-up double.
Turn it around, Jay Hay. Good start here for the Bucks. See if we can manufacture one early. The 2-1 count. Gets the fastball. Not a horrible pitch. A little bit up outer third of the plate. Got out to that 380 mark in a hurry.
Josh with his 15th double. The Pirates with a man in scoring position right away. Jordy Mercer at the plate. Jordy's hit in 5 straight. Average up to 212.
Jordy will try to get Jay Hay over to third for Andrew McCutchen.
Pitch from Wood. And that's outside for a ball. Jordy had a tough April and it continued into May, but about midway through the month of May, some things started to click for Jordy. Homered on back-to-back games in San Francisco on this road trip. Last night 1 for 3 with a run scored. And he hits this one in the air to right field. I'll get Harrison over. And making the catch is the center fielder, Cameron Maben. So Jordy does the job, and the Pirates have a man at third base and 1 out.
That's a good job, particularly because it was a changeup on a lefty. To try to keep the batter from hitting the ball on the right side, will either come in with a fastball or go away with a changeup to see if you can get out in front and hook it. But that changeup, Jordy stayed behind it nicely, hit it pretty hard. Job well done.
And now the discussion about Andrew McCutchen, who is waiting at the plate. Kutch has hit in 7 straight games. As you mentioned earlier, John, he's pushing 300, 294.
When you look at those numbers, you have no idea that he struggled so much in April.
Strike 1. .417 with runners in scoring position.
See, the infield is back. They'll concede the run on the ground.
5 games in the month of June. McCutchen 9 for 19 with a home run and 7 runs batted in. .474 average so far in June. Two balls and 1 strike.
Haven't seen the curveball from Wood yet. That's a pitch he likes to go to with 2 strikes. Half of his strikeouts coming off the curveball. Throws it about 20% of the time.
Two ball, 1 strike pitch from Alex Wood. 2-2.
Pulled the string on Andrew McCutchen. Change up. Andrew pulls the trigger a little too soon. Out in front.
Kutch has 5 sac flies on the season, tied for the league lead. And he takes strike 3. He snuck up on him and struck him out. And now there are 2 men gone.
And then not a great curveball. This is the breaking ball that he leaves pretty much down the middle of the plate. Andrew perhaps sees it out of the hand, thinks it's going to be outside, like it was going to stay off the plate away, but breaks right over the heart.
Marte 0 for 4 last night after a good night on Friday when he had a home run and an RBI base hit. Had 3 runs batted in, and the Pirates 10-8 win. 1-0 to Starling. He and McCutchen tied for the club lead in RBIs with 37. And the Pirates would like nothing more than to cash in that leadoff double by J-Hay. They'll have to do it with 2 outs. Two ball, no strike pitch. It's 2-1.
Not giving in with the fastball. Even though the count was in Marte's favor, 2-0. Another changeup.
Two 1 pitch. Hit him. Just barely got him. So Marte will trot down to first. And now 2 on for Jung Ho Kang.
Yeah, they come in with the fastball and looks like it glanced right off the kneecap, the left kneecap.
2 on and 2 out. Alex Wood now to face Jung Ho, who snapped an 0 for 14 streak with a 2-run double as a pinch hitter on Wednesday in San Francisco. Jung Ho in his last 9 games has 8 runs batted in. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Rivers Casino tips to win.
No, big day for the backup guys. You know, it's rare you see so many guys that are normally on the bench playing, so you hope for Kang, Tabata, Rodriguez, Stewart have a big day. And on the other side, when Cole takes the mound, their big gun, best hitter, most dangerous hitter by far, Freddie Freeman. I mean, he's been hot.
Marte held on by Freeman at first base. Some room up the middle for Jung Ho. Big gap in left center. Cameron Maben playing a few steps over toward right center field. Count even, a ball and a strike. Seeing a space between the left fielder Cunningham and the center fielder Maben. Maben trying to close off the right field gap, right center gap. Ball and 2 strikes.
A lot of area in this field here. Turner Field, a lot of grass in the outfield. A quick surface. A lot of room for base hits and extra base hits.
Throw to first, and Marte gets back easily. Leadoff double this inning by Harrison. Mercer's flied out, moving Harrison to third. McCutchen struck out looking. Marte hit by a pitch. And Jung Ho Kang trying to do some damage. The 1-2 will wait. Throw to first again. Braves expecting Marte to get on the move. 9 steals. He's been caught 3 times. There goes Marte. The pitch is inside for a ball, and Starling is safe. Stolen base number 10. And now the Bucks with 2 men in scoring position.
Pretty decent jump from Marte. Watch there. He didn't wait. He didn't go on first movement either. A lot of guys will guess go first movement against the lefty. He made sure that Wood was going home before he broke for second. Brzezinski doesn't throw like he once did.
Second and third, 2 outs. 2 ball, 2 strike count to Jung Ho Kang. And a ground ball left side. Simmons. Jump throw to first, beats him easily. Wow, what a play. For the Bucks, no runs, 1 hit, 2 left. No score after half inning. Braves lineup brought to you by Honda. Jace Peterson leads off. Cameron Maybin in the 2 spot now. Last 3 games he's hitting .571, 8 for 14. Freddie Freeman third. Cleanup. Juan Uribe fifth. A.J. Brzezinski sixth. Hamilton, Simmons, then Todd Cunningham. And the pitcher Alex Wood to face Garrett Cole.
And what a beginning of 2015 season Garrett Cole is having. 11 starts, 8-2. The ERA under 2 at 1.9. The strikeouts are up, more than a strikeout per inning. Amazing stuff from Garrett Cole.
First pitch to Peterson is high for a ball. Peterson missed the last 2 games, recovering from a cortisone injection in his left thumb Thursday on the off day. Had a very deep bruise. And Freddie Gonzalez said he was available on both Friday and Saturday to do everything except hit. So he would have been available, was listed as an active player off the bench, but today starting again. 2-0, cut on and missed.
And if he got the deep thumb bruise from getting jammed, which most hitters do at some point in time, get jammed and then they bruise that thumb, it doesn't go away in a couple days. You feel it.
Right by him.
And as soon as you go up there and get jammed again, it's going to get sore again as Garrett Cole goes upstairs at 95.
2-2 count. Fills it up with a fastball. This is the 21st game this season that Peterson has led off. And he will draw a walk. That's how it starts for Garrett Cole this afternoon. Free pass to Jace Peterson.
Not the start Garrett Cole wanted. Not exactly throwing it where he wants to early on. Did get a couple of strikes, but pretty much all 6 of those pitches were outside the zone.
Well, nobody out, a man aboard. Peterson with 6 stolen bases. Cameron Maben, who had been hitting cleanup, or rather leadoff the last 2 games, not cleanup. Throw to first. Peterson back. Friday night, Maben had a 3-hit game. 28th time in his career he's had a 3-hit ball game. Shortened up. Showed bunt, took a strike. Maben, former Padre, hitting .286 for Atlanta. And there goes Peterson. Throw down by Stewart is in time to get him.
Freddie Gonzalez is going to come up out of the dugout and wait to get a replay, but what a quick release by Stewart. The throw right on the money. Bang bang play. Watch the way he gets in position before he catches it. And we talked about this a lot with Russell Martin. Chris Stewart, you know, he turns his body and he tries to point that left shoulder at his target as he's catching the pitch. That's not easy to do, especially when you got a guy like Garrett Cole that throws the ball so hard with movement. Josh Harrison. Quick tag.
That eliminates the walk. So nobody on, 1 out. And Maben with a 2-ball 1-strike count. Off speed pitch is bounced foul. Count even 2-2. Stewart has caught 8 of 19. 42% of the would-be base stealers have been thrown out by Stewart.
That's impressive stuff.
Breaking ball hit to the left side, backhanded, and that's going to result in Maben being safe at first. The ball and Jordy didn't get along right there.
He got caught a little bit in between to Jordy Mercer. He knows he can't go deep. Maben has too much speed for him to go deep and get a better hop, a longer hop, an easier hop to catch. So he comes around this ball hoping to get a short hop, but a little bit of an in-between hop and just came up, couldn't get it in the pocket.
That is going to be ruled an infield single for Maben.
Well, if Jordy comes up and comes around that ball, gloves it cleanly, throws on the run, and gets off an accurate throw, it's going to be a close play. Not a real easy play for Mercer, but one we've seen him make.
Freddie Freeman has hit in 9 straight for Atlanta. Now the throw over to first base, Maben back. Maben has stolen 9 bases, so he is a threat to run.
And that's essentially why it was ruled a base hit, because of Maben's speed. If it's an average runner, it probably would have been ruled an error.
Freeman check swing roller. This will be played by Cole, and he'll toss it on to first base, and Maben safe at second with 2 out. Was he close enough to tag him?
Yeah, I was worried that as he goes to flip it, it was going to hit Freeman and fall out of his hand. Because, I mean, it looked like he was right next to him as he started to flip it.
That was pretty close. I mean, in terms of proximity.
Yep.
2 outs, and here is Markakis. Cleanup hitter with no home runs. Getting 301. I know last night, John, on the radio set, we were talking about other cleanup hitters. There's one other one, Matt Kemp, until last night had just 1 home run. He did hit a homer in Cincinnati. He's got 2. Cole's 1-0 pitch. And Markakis lines it to the left center field gap. There is Marte cutting it off. Makes the catch. And the side is retired. Head to the second inning at Turner Field. No score.
And the Pirates. I'm Robbie. It's Mikowski. Well, you know, Pirates have some pretty popular celebrity fans. Michael Keaton, one of them, also known as Batman. And on Friday night, he met the other Batman, and that is AJ Burnett, who noticed Michael Keaton standing there, and he autographed a baseball for him. And there is Michael acknowledging his new gift that was sent to him by the Pirates starter. And the inscription on it was kind of cool. He signed it to Batman, from Batman. Thanks for paving the road ahead, AJ Burnett. Now, I asked AJ this morning, Tim and Bob, how he noticed Michael Keaton standing there, because he's never met him before. He said, well, there was a challenge play earlier in the ballgame. The tag play at second base, and they had some idle time. And he noticed Keaton was looking at the Pirates coaching staff. Not sure why, but he was checking out the coaching staff and seeing what their thoughts were. And he said, hey, I think that's Michael Keaton right there. So he decided to grab the baseball, sign it, and give it to him. And it's a pretty cool moment. He said it's always something he wanted to do was meet Michael Keaton, the original Batman. Never did it. And one brief encounter, and Batman will never forget it, right?
There he is. Keaton, the original Batman from the movies. Go back to the old TV show. Adam West, who's still popular doing voices on cartoons today. But Michael Keaton in Atlanta filming a movie. And he plays the former owner of the Padres, Ray Kroc, in the movie. Jose Tabata striking out. So 1 down to start the second inning.
Staying away. First 3 pitches, then comes in right under the hands of Jose.
Sean Rodriguez starting at first today. And he hits this one up in the air to right field, playable for Markakis. 2 down. Markakis has a long string going of errorless baseball. 381 games plus today. And last night, I think he had 1 ball hit to him.
Yeah, and that came late.
Well, it's easy to have those errorless games when you're not getting any activity out there.
You know, most outfielders, their errors are going to come on throws. And big league outfielders, they're very rarely going to miss a fly ball.
Stewart takes a strike. Chris's last start, he had 3 doubles against the Giants. That was Monday night. Went 3 for 4 in that game. One ball and one strike. I know you had an errorless streak of 99 straight at third base. It's certainly a different deal there. You're getting balls hammered down there at you pretty often.
It's all different. I mean, it's like the outfield. A lot of it, sometimes an error you can't control. You might be throwing, might make a perfect throw to third base. It might hit the runner and roll away. You know, some of it's luck. Again, this day and age, with how nice everything is field wise, you're not going to see many outfielders like boot a ground ball. It happens on occasion. Unless the guy's running hard, you boot a ground ball, it's not going to cost you anything.
How about Chris Stewart? Continues to hit, drops one into center field for a base hit with 2 outs.
Nicely done. He just continues to do it consistently, time after time. It's just, you know, his approach is if he plays every single day. The swing doesn't slump, even last year. Did a heck of a job swinging the bat.
Garrett Cole, 5 out of 25. Runner aboard, 2 down. Woods pitch outside.
Other thing with outfielders is, you know, how often do they get to throw? You know, they don't take infield outfield anymore. I know they work on throwing, you know, at times before regular BP. But you know, when you're talking about throwing a ball 250 to 300 feet, you know, you're bound to miss one way or the other, whether you're throwing to second, third, or home. But that's where they'll usually get their errors.
Alex Wood out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and went to the University of Georgia. Signed with the Braves in 2012, second-round pick. He was the 85th overall pick, and he signed quickly. A $700,000 bonus. And going to school right nearby in Athens. To hear the Braves call his name, he said, was an absolute thrill. And it's a ground ball to second base, and Peterson will throw out Cole. No runs, a hit, a man left. Inning and a half in the books from Turner Field, still scoreless.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Silverado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. By 5 Hour Energy Shots. Have you tried great tasting 5 Hour Energy lately? And by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Our Day Automotive this day in Pirates history. In 1972, the Bucks swept a doubleheader from the Padres. In Game 1, Willie Stargell hit 2 homers, drove in 5, and had 3 hits. Dave Cash, Gene Clines, and Al Oliver also had 3 hits each. As the Bucks pounded out 20 hits and scored 12 runs. In Game 2, Doc Ellis threw 9 innings of shutout ball, while Padres starter Clay Kirby went 13 innings without allowing a run. Neither team scored until the 18th. Gene Alley drove in the game-winning run with a bases-loaded walk. How about that?
I wonder if the announcers were complaining about the offense that day.
Well, in Game 1, no. Game 2, yeah. Probably. For the Braves to lead off the second, Juan Uribe. Recently over from the Dodgers in a trade. And AJ Pierzynski and Andrelton Simmons to follow, facing Garrett Cole. Uribe got the start at second base last night, so that Freddie Gonzalez could get an extra right-handed bat in the lineup against the lefty Jeff Locke. Uribe back at third today. 259 overall this season. 3 home runs, 13 runs batted in. Speaking of the Dodgers, did you happen to catch the gem that Clayton Kershaw twirled at the Cardinals last night?
Yeah. It took Clayton Kershaw to beat the red-hot Cardinals.
8 innings, a 1-hit shutout. Kenley Jansen came in, closed the door on him. Just a marvelous performance. Here's the 1-0 pitch to right field and toward the corner. Tabata will watch this one bounce over the wall for a double. Leadoff double for Uribe. 4th double of the season for him.
Garrett Cole with the fastball, pretty much middle of the plate. And Garrett Cole get his fair share of ground balls with that 2-seam fastball, even when it ends up at times down the middle. But Uribe does a nice job of staying inside.
Uribe at second base, AJ Pierzynski at the plate. First ball swinging, fouls it off. Pierzynski, a 1-year free agent deal with the Braves. 38 years of age. (1,796) career games behind the plate. That leads all active major league catchers. Strike 2. That's a lot of games crouching.
Yeah, I'm amazed by that. I mean, you think of, there's been a lot of great catchers that have caught a long time and stayed behind the plate a long time, and you would think that it would be impossible to, that your knees would allow that.
0-2 pitch. Fouled off again. Well, one thing that's a product of being around for a long time is the fact that he has hit home runs in 31 different major league parks. Only 3 he has not. Nationals Park in D.C., Citi Field in New York, and Dodger Stadium. Oh, 2 pitch. Tapper to the third base side. Jung Ho's got it. Looks the runner back. Fires on to first to Rodriguez. 1 out.
Pierzynski should get a number of opportunities to hit home runs at Nationals Park and Citi Field, but Dodger Stadium probably doesn't have that many games remaining up there in L.A.
One out. Andrelton Simmons the batter. Simmons had hit in the 2 spot on Friday night and Saturday. Fouls off the first pitch. Strike 1. Simmons during the month of May scored 22 runs. That ranked tied for 3rd in the National League. So he's been getting on base, getting over, and getting in. Braves haven't had a problem scoring runs. It's the pitching, especially the bullpen, that's been troublesome for them. Another reason the Pirates need to get Alex Wood out earlier than they certainly got out Julio Teheran last night.
You try to, a lot of teams you don't want to get to their bullpen. The bullpens are so strong and the big arms and many of the bullpens nowadays. But the Braves, that's been a problem.
0-2 pitch to right field, down the line, foul. Just sliced at the end.
Not many guys can get on top of that pitch. 98 miles per hour above the letters. Cole will get his fair share of swings and misses. And you'd think something that high might foul back or pop up, but to hit a line drive, it's pretty impressive.
Off speed pitch here, you think?
Good bet.
0-2.
The previous breaking ball he threw caught more plate and left it up more than he wanted to. But he's probably, my guess would he would try to finish a slider off the plate.
There was the slider, but low. Ball with 2 strikes to Garrett Cole. Simmons is very good defensive shortstop. Again, the breaking ball, and Simmons, an emergency swing, got a piece of it. Stays alive.
He doesn't strike out much. Able to put the bat on the ball for the most part. Just 18 punch outs and 213 at bats.
And the ground ball toward the middle. Jordy Mercer will handle this one. And he retires Simmons. Down to third base goes Juan Uribe. 2 men out. And the Braves with a runner at third. Mercer routine ground ball. Handled it well. Todd Cunningham, switch hitting left fielder, getting a second start in this series. First time he will have faced Garrett Cole. There is Uribe after his leadoff double. Strike call to the inside part of the plate.
98 right on the corner. And still, Alex Wood swings the bat pretty well for a pitcher, but you do have a couple of bases open. You could be careful, especially now that you're ahead in the count 0-2. You have pitches to waste. No sense giving Cunningham anything he can hit. See if he can get a chase.
Didn't chase it upstairs. He let it go. Sirich, Pirates pitching coach, hopes to keep watching Garrett Cole pitch for a while today. In the air to left field and shallow over near the line. Marte will make the catch, and the Braves waste a leadoff double. Leave a man at third. Archimedes Caminero finally finds a place in the majors after 9 long years. Francisco Cervelli is a magnet for foul balls, leading to some piñata-like beatings behind the plate. There's also more to come on Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network. Today after postgame on Root Sports. Francisco with a day off today. More than likely back at it tomorrow night. A.J. Burnett against Jimmy Nelson as the Brewers come to town tomorrow. But right now the Pirates looking to get a win in Game 3. Get out here with a series win. Back to the top of the order, Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer, and Andrew McCutchen. Harrison doubled in the first, was left at third. 1 for 1 for J-Hay. Average at .259. Shows bunt. Four homers and 18 runs batted in for Josh. He is 52 for 201. 2-0. Now 2-1 as Josh takes that pitch.
Hopefully that double gets J.A. hot, cooled off a little bit.
Woods 2-1. J.A. fouls it off. What about the delivery, John, of Alex Wood? It's a little bit, I guess you'd refer to it maybe as violent. A little unusual.
Yeah, a little bit. And when he goes into the windup, too, boy, he drops that throwing arm way down below his back.
J.A. to left center field and over to get it. Cameron Maben with a sliding catch.
He kind of leans back a little old school like does Alex Wood. And drops that hand behind him. Routine play for a big league center fielder.
One man out, Jordy Mercer at the plate. Mercer flied to center to Maben in the first inning. He's 0 for 1 today. Had great weather here in Atlanta this weekend. Temperature in the high 80s today. High 80s last night too. Jordy fouls this one off. We expect some good temperatures in Pittsburgh for the homestand when we return.
Yeah.
Summer's here.
Hopefully the rain will get out of the way. It's supposed to rain some tomorrow. But yeah, we don't have to worry about the cold anymore.
Off speed pitch, missed outside.
Anytime you have a guy that's a little unorthodox on the mound, you just want to try to ignore everything but the release point. You just try to take your eyes to where the ball's coming out. You look at just where his hand goes. I mean, it's, from when he gets his signed and when he starts his delivery, and that ball goes from way down there behind him back up top. A lot of motion. And you hear pitching coaches and talking about repeating deliveries, and it seems to me that would be hard to repeat time after time.
Mercer slaps this one toward third, just foul. And as a hitter, before he begins to wind up, you have to anchor somewhere. I think as different hitters pick different anchor points, but do you try to follow the ball once he starts his motion, even though you can't see it?
For the most part, all you're going to do, you see a little footing issue with Uribe. Literally, when a pitcher starts his motion, you set your eyes on where he's going to release the ball.
Payoff pitch.
Ball
wide of third.
Jay Bell back in the day, he used to keep still pitchers, every pitcher, where the ball came out of the guy's hand. Whether it was 3/4 over the top sidearm, and he had still pitchers in his locker for every pitcher that he would face. Yeah, he would pull out the picture to know where he's looking.
Eighth pitch of the at bat is put in play down to third base. Uribe with a flip on to first. And 2 men out for the Pirates in the third inning. Next Sunday, the Pirates host the Phillies, 1:35 on a Kids' Day at PNC Park. All kids 14 and under receive an Andrew McCutcheon compression sleeve, compliments of Mrs. T's Pierogies. #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone on Federal Street before the game. Kids run the bases afterwards, courtesy of the original Pizza Logs. For tickets, go to pirates.com. And McCutcheon struck out on a curveball looking in the first. It was though Wood was saving that first curveball of the game for Andrew, and he grounds to Uribe. Long throw. That's a quick inning. 1, 2, 3. 2.5 in the books. Pirates and Braves scoreless from Turner Field. Over here, today's Allegheny Health Network injury update. Marlins right-hander Jose Fernandez, first rehab start yesterday. He had Tommy John surgery last season, allowed 5 runs on 8 hits in 3 innings while pitching for Single-A Jupiter. Said he felt very healthy, reached 99 miles an hour. And if he's throwing 99, he's probably pretty healthy.
And whoever was facing has some hitters.
Yeah, they do. So here's Alex Wood facing Garrett Cole. These two guys have faced each other before, most recently last September 23rd here when the Pirates clinched a postseason berth. These two are the starting pitchers. The Pirates would win that game 3-2. And that is the one win that Garrett Cole has over the Braves in his 2 starts. He's 1-0 against them. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. That's the first strikeout of the day for Garrett Cole.
Well, the location was good. Pretty much threw it where he wanted to. And in that first inning, wasn't quite there, but hopefully Garrett Cole settled in, getting a groove.
Jace Peterson, second time up. Strike 1 to him. He walked his first time and then was caught stealing. Curveball down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. That's an interesting factoid you brought up there about Jay Bell. And what he used to do with the still photos.
Yeah.
So he could visualize the release point of the pitcher he was facing that night. Never knew he did that.
And the majority of the guys, release the ball about the same place. And when you're watching real speed, it's hard to, come down to the exact inch of where the ball's coming out. Obviously today, and with all the computers and video out there, I mean, you can go on a computer and punch in Garrett Cole and see every pitch and where it's coming from, and consistently coming out of the same spot. A hitter will tell you the most important thing when you go to the plate is to see the ball as early as you can pick it up. And what ends up happening more times than not, is if you're thinking, that ball's by you before you can react. If you're not concentrating on just seeing it as soon as you can, you're not going to be able to recognize spin. You're not going to be able to lay off breaking balls.
Line drive to left and a base hit.
A good chance you're not going to be able to catch up to a fastball, especially at that velocity. And you got to get all thoughts out of your head for the most part and just gear up. Shorten up if you're facing a guy like Garrett Cole with that great velocity.
Cameron Maben a base hit in the first. It was an infield single. Pirate middle infielders will play for two. Maben's grounded into 4 double plays this season. This one's fouled out of play. The Pirates, by the way, have turned the most in the majors, 66 double plays.
Some good ground ball pitchers on this staff. And very good infielders. I know we've had some issues with the errors, but for the most part, it's a solid defensive infield.
Yeah, Friday night's game could be categorized in a number of different ways with 4 errors. Still got a win out of it. Got Charlie Morton his 3rd win against no losses. But the Pirates won the slugfest. Went back to playing errorless baseball last night. Peterson gets back in plenty of time. Maben a ground ball right side. That's through. Peterson will turn and head for third base. Top of his throw goes all the way through. And there are now men at first and third with 1 out. Maben goes the other way for his 2nd base hit.
Well, we've seen a good bit of that this series. Atlanta hitters hitting the ball through the right side. With Cole with that good velocity, Maben knows he has a huge hole over there to stay inside and on top. And good hustle by Peterson, knowing there's 1 out. And with 0 outs or 2 outs, you maybe are a little more cautious. You don't want to make the first or third out at third, but with 1 out, that's the time to turn it up, take a chance.
Well, the Braves threatening now with 2 on and 1 out. Freddie Freeman the batter. And if you're Freddie Gonzalez, this is the guy you want at the plate in this situation.
Always so dangerous.
Freeman 0 for 1 today.
He has the ability to hit a fastball. This fastball's at 98 inside, right on the corner, right where Garrett Cole wanted it. But Freeman, man, who inside out the ball. I've seen him hit that pitch down the left field line. I've seen him hit line drives to center with it. And he's got such good hands.
Oh, he got him. That had to hurt. 97 miles an hour.
He's not even limping, which is amazing. Yanks it inside and right on the outside of that right knee. Ouch.
So this will load the bases for the Braves. Ray Searage will come out and pay Garrett Cole a visit.
Yeah, even if you pretend that it doesn't hurt.
There's no way that can't hurt.
I mean, how did he? I mean, he ran or jogged to first base with barely a limp. And that didn't feel good.
He's got to keep moving too.
Yeah,
he doesn't want it to stiffen up on it.
It's going to. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt there's going to be some swelling and it's going to stiffen up. But this guy plays every day. He doesn't come out of the lineup. It's the way he wants it. And, yeah, it'll take a lot to get him to come out.
Cleanup man Nick Markakis with the bases full. Markakis lined out to left field to end the first inning. .261 with the bases loaded, 3 grand slams, and this year 0 for 2 with the sacks full. 1 ball and 1 strike to Markakis. Pirates playing for 2 in the middle. Love to work their way out of this and get Garrett Cole off the hook this inning. And a strike, 1 and 2.
Good location there. 98, and that's what is special about Garrett Cole. You know, he can go up there and throw that 2-seamer, 93, 94, 95. But that 98's always in there. Well, he wants to reach back and get it by a guy or elevate.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
And a lot of hitters, when they see that 98 and realize how quick it got on them, that they couldn't even flinch, they're liable to chase. Garrett tries to get ahead with the curveball. It misses just off the plate. Buries a slider. Markakis out in front. Perfectly located at 98. Speed up the bat. Get the chase.
So 2 men out. And Juan Uribe at the plate. He doubled his first time up in the second inning. And the pitch now to Uribe. Swung on, fouled off. The opposition this year, with the bases loaded and Garrett Cole on the hill, 0 for 5. He's not giving up a hit with the bases full.
I think anybody that has an ERA under 2, they're doing a good job when runners get on base.
And the ground ball left side. Jung Ho plays the in-between hop. He's got it, throws him out. And Garrett Cole now has the opposition hitting 0 for 6 against him with the bases full.
Play spring training games in Cuba next season, and the Pirates would love to be a part of that. Now, team president Frank Coonelly is here in Atlanta, and he told me earlier today it would be exciting for the organization and exciting for the players to go there and be the first team to play in Cuba since the Baltimore Orioles did back in 1999. He said it's a terrific opportunity to be a part of a change in culture. But the issue here, Tim and John, is that 29 other teams are probably saying the same thing. Now, any baseball played outside of the United States and Canada is defined by the CBA as international play. Now, international play is determined by both the Commissioner's Office and the Players Association. So it's out of the Pirates' hands in terms of who makes a decision. But you can bet Frank will be pressing his former co-workers at the league office in New York City to get the Buccos down there for that first game back in Cuba in more than 16 years.
Well, that would be very, very interesting, certainly. It's just a couple of 100 miles from Bradenton, Florida. 90 miles off the coast of Florida, Miami, that area. Marte is out. There's one gone in the fourth. But, John, that'd be a terrific opportunity, I think, because, you know, politics aside, Cuba is trying to become more open and you know, from the baseball side of things, certainly that has filtered into Major League Baseball. We've seen a number of Cuban players recently come in. They've got a very good brand of baseball, a lot of talent there, and they do love Major League Baseball. That's why so many guys had defected over the years, including Pirates bullpen coach Euclides Rojas, who defected on a raft.
Yeah, very dangerous journey.
Absolutely. But it was worth it. There's Yuki on the right. He is a naturalized American citizen now. Still has family in Cuba that he hasn't seen since he defected many, many years ago.
More and more players in the major leagues from Cuba. Managers. Freddie Gonzalez, born in Cuba, as was his bench coach, Carlos Tosca.
3-0 pitch, and Gunn hits it right to Simmons. Atom ball.
Got a fastball right on it. A bullet. Simmons, one of the best. I wonder if certain teams go over there to play spring training games that have defectors. I wonder how the defector would feel about going back. If there'd be uneasiness, or, you know, or would they be looking forward to seeing family and friends again?
Top of it to right field. That's a base hit. Jose 1 for 2. And Robbie, I know you've been doing a little bit more research on this possibility.
Yeah, I talked to Frank about just the Pirates and their scouting efforts. Now, the one thing he noted is that the embargo is still on, so they don't have permission yet to go down there and scout. Now, Rene Gallo, the head of international scouting for the Pirates, is of Cuban ancestry, and Frank noted that, of course, it'd be great for Rene and his staff to be dispatched down there. And obviously, there's no questioning the amount of baseball talent that resides in Cuba. So the Pirates, once they can get clearance, once proclamations say that relations have cooled a little bit between the United States and Cuba, but the embargo still exists. But once they get clearance, you can count on the Buccos being a major factor in the scouting down there for international talent. John, you know how much exists down there.
Pirates actually had spring training one year, many, many years ago, in Cuba. And former manager I used to have the great pleasure to work with, the late Dick Williams, told me a story about how he and Tommy Lasorda were down there one winter for the Dodgers, and they asked if a certain left-hander could come in and throw pitches to him in the cage, take BP. Local guy. It was Fidel Castro.
Interesting.
No balls and 2 strikes to Sean Rodriguez. And Dick told me he hit him all over the ballpark, too. And Rodriguez swing and a miss. And he's going to get tagged out. He gave himself up. And that's it. No runs a hit. 1 man left. No score halfway through the 4th. City this Saturday. Get to PNC Park to watch the Pirates battle the Phillies at 4:05. Then after the game, enjoy country music artist Big and Rich. It's the first Fan Jam post-game concert of the season, presented by Highmark. For tickets, go to pirates.com. Well, scoreless game here on the UPMC scoreboard, bottom of the fourth inning. A.J. Przinsky will lead off against Garrett Cole. 4 hits for the Braves, 3 for the Pirates. A couple guys have been stranded at third base for Atlanta. Pirates had a man stranded at third in the first. That was Harrison after a leadoff double. Przinsky in the air to shallow left. Marte, easy play, 1 out.
I like the quick outs, especially given today's temperature, hot, humid here in Atlanta.
So 1 down, and Andrelton Simmons, the shortstop, due up. Just more on the Cuba possibility. International baseball, they do have a lot of good players, and a number of them have. Simmons is hit by a pitch, and now he's jawing with Cole. And Chris Stewart and home plate umpire Mark Carlson has to get in between Simmons and Cole. And Terry Pendleton, the first base coach, comes and gets him. Andrelton Simmons apparently feeling there was some intent there.
Oh, I doubt that he thinks there's intent, but regardless, when you're getting hit with any pitch, let alone a Garrett Cole fastball, a lot of guys aren't going to be happy about it. You know, it's not fun getting hit with pitches, especially, it's elevated a bit.
Well, Cole's certainly not trying to put somebody on in a scoreless game.
Yeah, I'm certain there's no intent, but doesn't mean guys don't get upset over it.
Strike to Todd Cunningham. He flied to left field in the second inning. And the 0-1. Popped up, shallow right. Tabata coming in. Jay going out. Tabata calls him off, makes the catch at fair ground for the out, 2 down. Well, just to complete that, a lot of the Cuban players, not a lot, but some other Cuban players have taken opportunities to play professionally in Asia, in Japan most notably. And we always hear about the ones that come here and play, but you don't hear about the ones that go over there. But they've got some very good players who took part for their national team and had been allowed to leave.
Whereas Cuba allowed them to leave the national team, is that?
Well, now they've lightened the restrictions. You don't have to necessarily defect the way that you did before. But got the chance to see the Cuban national team in 2 different Olympics, and they can play. I mean, they've got serious talent. Euclides Rojas was a left-handed pitcher on that national team before he defected. Alex Wood against Garrett Cole. Left-handed pitcher bats right-handed. His pitching arm is exposed.
We saw that last night's game, actually. A highlight of Matt Carpenter getting hit by Clayton Kershaw, and he ended up coming out of the game. That's what's a dangerous thing. If you're a left-handed pitcher batting right-handed and you get hit in the arm, I mean, you're not going to be able to pitch. Matt Carpenter is just a third baseman and got hit in his throwing arm. And man, it hurts enough. And more times than not, it's a reaction of the hitter. If a ball comes in around the back area, or you're going to get hit in the back of that elbow a lot. That's where you get hit more times than not. And so, if you get hit in your throwing arm by something like that, yeah, you're going to struggle to throw for a while.
Alex Wood down on strikes for the second time. Braves leave 1. We'll head to the 5th inning.
here at Turner Field. Well, the Pirates getting some good news from the affiliates. In fact, their top 2 affiliates have the best record in their respective leagues. The Altoona Curve on a nice little win streak. They're sitting in at 33-20. Thanks to 276 team average, it's leading the way, and a team ERA of 3.10. The starters have been fantastic. First-year manager Tom Prince doing a fantastic job with the Altoona Curve, and the Indianapolis Indians themselves on a little streak at 34-23. Look at their team batting average. Josh Bell hit his second home run of the season last night. He is hitting for average really well. Or, excuse me, Josh Bell did that at Altoona the other night. But you look at the Indianapolis Indians, what they're doing, the 20 home runs allowed. That's tied for the fewest. Clayton Richard providing some nice starts for them down at the AAA level. And Tim and John, really nice in terms of development of the prospects and the winning culture that Tom Prince and Dean Traynor have been developing with the Buccos, 2 top affiliates.
Yeah, I think you got to be happy with the results, and a lot of those guys on the way here. Garrett Cole made that same trip through those towns, cities, on his way to the big leagues. So Altoona and Indy doing very, very well, AA and AAA.
Good players.
Chris Stewart is 1 for 1 today. Single in the second inning with 2 outs, and he starts off taking a strike. Took another. We'll just pump 2 strikes in past him.
Battle mode.
And he strikes out Stewart. And that is the second Pirate hitter that we've seen today, John, give themselves up on a drop third strike. And that's probably not a good thing.
Yeah, well, this is going to be an interesting at bat. What we got here. Obviously, Stewart's not on the bases, so Garrett Cole is up, and he has hit 2 of the Atlanta Braves stars.
Garrett looks a little emotional.
And that was the hardest fastball tonight from Alex Wood, and it was inside.
Two balls, no strikes. So the 2-0 from Wood is in for a called strike. I mentioned these two had pitched against one another in the postseason clinching game last year on the 23rd of September, but their history goes back further than that to the college ranks. And Cole and Wood pitched against each other. Cole at UCLA and Wood at Georgia, March 11th, 2011. Cole struck out 12, Wood struck out 11, and Wood got the win. Each went 7. Wood gave up just the 1 run. And he walks Garrett Cole.
And, you know, if you've one of the 2 guys that got hit by Garrett Cole, well, one of them is going to go hold him on over at first base. Be interesting to see if anything's being talked about over there. It looked like Garrett Cole may have walked up towards Freddie Freeman, maybe had something to say.
Looked like Freeman wanted to say something there and then stopped. Jay Hay, little number foul back to the screen.
And Freeman didn't look as unhappy as Simmons after being hit. And I always think that's an interesting thing after, especially if you've taken offense to it and then you cross paths on the base paths.
That's up the middle and a base hit. 2 hits for Jay Hayes, 2 for 3.
Let's see if I can make that one hurt. Walking the opposing pitcher. And Simmons kind of nowhere near Garrett Cole. He stayed at his shortstop position. But no pleasantries, that's for sure.
First and second, one out. Mercer, strike one. Jordy's 0 for 2. He's hit safely in 5 straight. And a big gap in left center field for Mercer. Cameron Maben's been shading the right-handed hitters to right center for the most part. 73 pitches. Bucks would like to get Wood's pitch total up. Get into that Braves bullpen.
Good change up there from Wood. Got the chase. He's got some late fade to it. Looks like it might catch that outside edge and then drops down out of the zone.
Cole with a pretty big secondary lead. Gave Brzezinski a thought to throw down there. Certainly Cole doesn't want to get gunned out. Not for a pitcher. He runs aggressively on the bases.
Yeah.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Jordy Mercer. And Jordy lifts this one into shallow left field. That ball will drop for a hit. Cole had to wait it out. And now the bases are full of Bucks with 1 out for Andrew McCutchen.
Gotta love this opportunity here. After another changeup away, comes in, way in off the inside part of the plate. Jordy somehow gets his hands pulled inside it. Obviously jammed a bit. Man, how does he get to that pitch? I mean, that pitch is a good foot off the plate. Garrett Cole reads it, gets to third safely, and a great opportunity now for the Pirates.
Roger McDowell, the pitching coach for Atlanta. Garrett Cole, he would represent the first run of the game. And Kutch responsible for the first 2 of the game last night with this laser beam to left.
Bring him a slider. Andrew will make you pay.
8th home run of the year for McCutchen. Came on a 2-2 pitch. And that had tied the game at 2 at that point. McCutchen with the bases loaded. Garrett Cole is at third. Josh Harrison, the runner, at second base. And Jordy Mercer over at first. 2 hits in the inning, plus a walk. And a big opportunity for the Pirates now. Kutch 0 for 2. Wood gets ahead of him.
Good location for that breaking ball.
1 for 5 this year with the bases loaded. Wood a long look in. Now time is called. That's your 2 top RBI guys ready to go. McCutchen's at the plate. Marte's on deck. That's strike 2.
Only half the battle.
Let's see what Wood comes with here. 0-2. He can do a number of different things. Doesn't even have to throw a strike. Certainly. Bases full of Bucks. 1 out. No score. Top of the 5th. lot of signs from Brzezinski.
I think he wants him to go.
And this one gets away, and Cole stays at third.
If it gets behind Brzezinski, maybe a little bit different, but when it bounces out in front and pitchers on third, you're not going to take any chances, especially when the ball's bouncing towards you.
Wood tried to bury one there, and McCutchen did not bite. Ball and 2 strikes to Kutch. Struck him out. Second time Wood has struck out McCutchen.
Not a good at bat for Andrew McCutchen from the get-go. First pitch out of the gate, a breaking ball down out of the zone. He gets a chase, and he speeds him up with a fastball. Good pitch to hit. Almost middle. Slider in the dirt gets by. Another breaking ball out of the strike zone.
Marte was hit by a pitch in the first and then grounded out to third in the fourth. 2 outs, bases loaded.
Good location there with that fastball at 91. And Alex Wood throwing a little harder here in this 5th inning. He's right around 88 to 90 through the first 4 for the most part. He's touched 92. He's had a number of pitches over 90. You see the WB Mason strike zone perhaps getting a call on that first fastball.
Wood getting ahead just like he did on McCutchen. 0-2. Wood's 0-2 pitch to Marte. Fouled off, came after him. 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Marte with 11 home runs to lead the club. Hit his 11th on Friday night. Didn't hit his 11th home run last year until September 8th. Again fouls it off, and again Wood coming in with a fastball.
Making him throw a good bit of pitches. You see there now 84 on the afternoon. This hot muggy day, you figured unless we could knock him out of here and come up with a couple of big 2-out knocks here in the 5th. Hard to imagine Wood going any more than 6.
The 0-2 once again. Marte, base hit, right center field. Cole will score. Harrison in right behind him. 2-0 Pirates. Starling Marte comes up big on an 0-2 pitch with 2 outs and the bases full. And that breaks the ice.
Alex Wood tried to bury the breaking ball. Watch the location. That's not buried. That's middle. Thigh high middle of the plate. He got the ball down and out of the zone to Andrew McCutchen. An 0-2 breaking ball shouldn't end up there. And Marte, give him credit because he had to fight off some tough pitches to get that breaking ball. His left middle of the plate.
Well, first and third, Jung Ho Gung the batter. And he drives one to left field. Mercer will score. Marte is going to go to third. Here's the throw to third, and a head-first slide beats the throw. 3-0 Pirates. RBI base hit for Jung Ho Gung.
He hunts the base. He hunts the RBI. Jung Ho Gung. His 20th on the year, not wasting any time. Gets the changeup, stays back. That's nicely done. Originally, I thought it was a fastball. A changeup And not a bad location down around the knees, but Jung Ho goes down. Adds a third.
Marte with some big time hustle right there. That play right in front of him, so he had that decision made before he got the second. He was going to challenge Cunningham. Won that battle. First and third. Here's Tabata. Quick throw over to first base as we saw the step off throw. Breaking ball in for a strike to Jose. He's 1 for 2. Single to right in the fourth.
I'd be surprised to see Jose maybe try to hit a ball through that right side, that big hole, if he gets something firm out over the plate.
2 out lightning here today for the Pirates in the fifth. Jose to right center field. Over to get it is Markakis. He'll make the catch. But the Bucks strike for 3 runs on 4 hits. 3-0 Pirates. Away. An interesting development took place as Braves starting pitcher Alex Wood has been ejected from this ball game, and as he's walking off, he's jawing with home plate umpire Mark Carlson, and they get into it a little bit, and Carlson runs him. AJ Przinsky is saying, you know, what are you doing? Help us out here. And to no avail. Alex Wood ejected, so he is out of this game after 5 innings and on the hook.
The only person he could be complaining about in terms of balls and strikes is the pitches he made to Garrett Cole. And he walked Cole with 1 out. He was the first base runner, which ended up leading to the 3 runs.
And Cole way inside to Peterson. Peterson looks back out there. He snapped his head around looking out at Cole. Braves not happy with what's gone on here today.
Yeah, and man, just missed hitting his 3rd Braves batter. And again, they can't be thinking that he's out here trying to hit the guys. It's just the command. It isn't there for Cole.
It's not always easy to corral a 98-mile-an-hour fastball and get it to go exactly where you want it to go.
Well, and this would be the argument if you're on the Braves side. Well, if you can't locate the ball in and you're going to keep hitting us, well, quit coming in.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Jace Peterson, Braves second baseman. And he strikes out. Bad looking swing. And Garrett Cole picks up another strikeout. That's his 4th.
Borderline strike. Probably a little bit up, a little bit out. Peterson just trying to protect.
Well, that'll be the new Braves pitcher right there. Cody Martin will come in the 6th. Cameron Maybin takes a strike. Maybin's 2 for 2 today. Infield single in the 1st. Bounces this one foul off the top of the Braves dugout. Pitch up high. Well, you talked about the walk to Garrett Cole last half inning. That one was close, but inside. The second pitch, which was right on the line, was called a ball. So maybe that is what Wood was still jawing about. And it may have been out on strikes. 2 men out. Let's go back to our Pittsburgh studios for the State Farm game break with Dan Potash. Dan. Sounds like Sunday is J Day and Cincinnati. Jay Bruce, big day there. Padres beat him last night. The 0-1 to Freeman bounced foul, and it's 0-2. Cardinals play the Dodgers late tonight. They've got the Sunday night game. The Cubs and Nationals a little later. Into the shift, there's Jay Hay one-handing it. And throws out Freeman. 1-2-3. Go the Braves. And we'll move to inning number 6 at Turner Field. Pirates up 3 runs.
Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Kenny Ross, Ask a Neighbor. And by Levin Mattress, located in all Levin Furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
Along with John Wayne and Robbie and Spakowski, I'm Tim Neverett. UPMC scoreboard says 3-0 in favor of the Pirates. Top of the 6th inning and a new pitcher. Right-hander Cody Martin, who was called up on June 1st for his second stint with the big club.
2-2, 4.79 ERA, more than a strikeout per inning, 23 and 20 and 2/3 innings, 4 long balls allowed.
Cody Martin will face Sean Rodriguez, Chris Stewart, and Garrett Cole. 7, 8, 9 in the Pirates order.
Average velocity wise for Martin, averages right around 90, and throws a curveball, changeup, and slider.
Rodriguez takes inside for ball 1. Last year, Martin spent the entire season in AAA, went 7 and 8 with the Braves' top club in Gwinnett. Not far from Atlanta.
I said average velocity. For a bullpen guy, it's below average velocity. Right-handed pitcher, just averaging at 90 miles per hour.
And Sean hits one to left field. That's going to be down for a hit right in front of Cunningham. A leadoff single for Rodriguez. And you see the Point Park University tweets at the bottom of the screen rolling across, talking about the offensive outburst in the 5th.
Pirates have done their share of coming through in the clutch with 2 outs this road trip. A ton of big hits.
Chris Stewart is 1 for 2.
Garrett Cole, I'm assuming, is resting up, staying out of the sun this hot Georgia day. Josh Harrison has come out to stand on deck.
Fouled off. As far as pitches go for Cole, 73.
Just keeping cool.
Cody Martin getting ready to deliver the 0-2 pitch. He'll throw to first instead. Diving back is Rodriguez. Martin out of Dos Palos, California. Picked up by the Braves in the 7th round in 2011. Strike 3, throw back down to first, and Rodriguez is safe. So Stewart goes down on strikes for the 2nd time. 1 man out in the Pirates' half of the 6th inning. Tomorrow is draft day, and the war room in Bradenton will be buzzing with activity. The draft headquarters for the Bucks, and we'll find out sometime tomorrow who will be the newest members of the Pirates organization. Cole squares, puts the bunt in play. Martin will have 1 play, that's to first, and that is the 2nd successful sacrifice bunt for Garrett Cole. Jamison Tyone sent out a tweet earlier today. He said, "Life changed for me when I got drafted 5 years ago today. Crazy, awesome journey. Excited for the next bunch of years ahead."
I bet he's got to be thinking those first 5 years have flown by. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago. And he was the Pirates' 1st-round pick. Expect to see him here before too long.
He was picked right out of high school the year before Garrett Cole was picked out of UCLA. And hopefully all that stuff is behind Jamison Tyone as far as the surgery. He is probably extremely anxious to get out there and pitch in some competitive games under the lights. Some pitching in extended spring training. But he is on his way back, and he hopes to be where Garrett Cole is sometime in the near future.
would say barring any setbacks, we'll see Taillon in big league uniform by the end of the year.
This year?
Yeah. At least September. Call up as long as he stays healthy.
Here comes the 1-1 from Cody Martin to Jay. Josh takes outside. 2-1. Josh is 2 for 3 today. Scored a run in the 5th. Three and 1. Now Nick Kingham going through the Tommy John process, the recovery. It's going to take a little while. Saw him pitch in spring training, and he looked very good. He was impressive.
Yeah.
He was very impressive. And I guess it's easy for somebody who hasn't had Tommy John to say it, but it's probably, if you're going to have it as a pitcher, you know, you want to get on the other side of it. And he has, and now it's the recovery process, and then he'll get back to where he was. As Harrison takes ball 4, and he'll be a contributor for the Pirates, and more than likely at the big league level sooner than later.
And hopefully, you know, the Tommy John surgeries for the most part have been a great success, and I would think that, you know, hopefully, you know, they recover and they're back to being 100%. And this may sound a little cruel, but yeah, I would think most organizations, if they're going to have a pitcher to have Tommy John surgery, you'd rather have them have it before they get to the big leagues than after they get to the big leagues, because then you don't lose at least a year of service time.
Pickoff attempt, and Rodriguez just gets under the tag with his hand.
Timing play. Simmons sneaking in from behind. Sofield, you can hear Sofield up here in the press box as he was yelling back.
And Jordy takes upstairs. What you were saying?
Yeah, I think it, you know, organizationally, you know, as far as a team that, you know, when you figure most guys are free agents after 6 years in the big leagues, 6.5 for those that don't come up in the middle of the season. You'd rather get a full 6.5 years out of them, and so, you know, you get the TJ done in spring training or in the minor leagues, you don't lose that year of service at the big league level. Now, on the other side, the pitcher that gets the Tommy John surgery would probably rather be in the big leagues because, obviously, the salary in the big league time.
We gave our injury update earlier. Jose Fernandez of the Marlins, he's back, and he's in a rehab stint. Threw 99 miles an hour last night. Said he feels very healthy. Mercer in the air to center field. Maben drifting back. Backpedaling, making the catch. And the Pirates finished in the top of the 6th. No runs, a hit, a man left. 3-0. Back to the third inning, bases loaded. The big strikeout of Markakis, and then Uribe grounds out to Jung-Ho Kang as Garrett Cole wriggled off the hook, got out of a bases loaded jam, and has kept the Braves scoreless as we head to the bottom of the sixth inning.
Another good outing thus far from Garrett Cole. He's had a couple little jams. Obviously the bases loaded jam the biggest. He had a leadoff double. He was able to strand the runner Uribe back in the second, and he's been pretty efficient, averaging under 15 pitches per inning. He's at 73.
Call to face Markakis. Braves right fielders 0 for 2. Nothing in 1 to Markakis. Last time up, we showed you the strikeout. Garrett got him to chase that pitch, and that was the second out of that inning. And that helped him get out of that jam quite a bit. After there were back-to-back hits with 1 out, and then Cole hit Freddie Freeman, and that loaded the bases. One of 2 hit batsmen today for Garrett. Andrelton Simmons the other. 0-2 pitch, trying to bury that one, and it's 1-2. Yeah, foul ball straight back.
Able to just get a piece of that high heater. 96.
One, two. Ground ball to the right side. Harrison has it. 1 down in the 6th for the Braves. You look at what Cole has done to this point in the season, Rock. He is tied for the league lead in wins with 8. He is among the leaders in the top 3 in earned run average. He continues to pile up numbers. He's in the top 10 in strikeouts. He's 6th now in strikeouts. Uribe, a little broken bat flare that'll fall into no man's land. And Uribe is 2 for 3. 1 out single for the Braves' third baseman. Catch the excitement of Pirates baseball at PNC Park this summer with the Pirates Summer 6-Pack presented by Papa John's. For as low as $99, lock in your seats and price when you build your own 6-game plan. Plus, each Summer 6-Pack comes with a complimentary large 2-topping pizza from Papa John's. Find out more at pirates.com/summer.
Talking about with Cole, I mean, the numbers you speak of and the way he's been pitching, I mean, we're going to be, if this continues, we'll be talking about Cy Young Award winner. I mean, looks like he's going, if the Pirates finish this off, be the first National Leaguer to 9 wins. ERA, as it stands this instant, at 177. The strikeouts.
Coming into the game, his road ERA actually lower than his home ERA. 186 on the road, 195 at home. As you say, at the moment, 177. He's dropped it from 190 where he started today. Brzezinski chased one down and in. Nothing in 2. But it is good to have the discussion, isn't it, about a Bucco pitcher, Cy Young?
Certainly, you got to be thinking All-Star game. It's about a month away, and you know, the pitching ability gets better and better as the more we see him, the more starts he gets. And there are times where he's content to give up contact, but he always has that stuff in there to get the strikeout when needed. When he first came up, it wasn't really a strikeout guy. He had less strikeouts per innings pitched. Last year, he had exactly a strikeout per innings pitched.
To center field, McCutcheon almost overran it. 2 down.
Yeah, when he goes down to hit this, it looks like it's going to be a soft liner. He barely swung at that pitch, just a little wave of the hand. And as a center fielder, you're going to assume that that's going to be weakly hit and out in front of you. But McCutcheon had to put on the brakes. That ball jumped off his bat.
Andrelton Simmons, last time up, was hit and was very unhappy. He's 0 for 1. 2 down, Uribe at first base. Strike one. And one of the neat thrills I've had, John, in the last several years was going to Provo, Utah, going to the home of Vern Law, seeing his Cy Young Award on the wall. 1960. It was just kind of surreal. You hear about that team, the old Buccos teams, that era, and to see it. And, he had it in a box under his bed for a long time, and his wife told him, "You better hang that stuff up so your grandchildren know you did something."
Humble man.
Had his Dapper Dan Award up and had a number of things. But yeah, seeing the Cy Young Award, it's not every day you see one in person, a guy who won its house, but pretty neat.
Yep.
Three 1 to Simmons. That's ball 4. 98 miles an hour, just up.
I get the idea there that Cole was figuring that Simmons was up there sitting dead red on the fastball, and so threw him a lot of breaking balls. Even 2-1 went with the breaking ball. 3-1 count. Tried to challenge him upstairs, but too far up.
Two outs. Cole will face Todd Cunningham, who has flied out twice, once to left and once to right. Switch hitter batting left takes a ball. Cunningham had an 0 for 19 skid recently, up until the 2nd of June. And had a couple of multiple hit games against Arizona. And 3 of them in a row, as a matter of fact, in mid-May, before he started his 0 for 19 slump. 2-0. Cunningham was the first Braves player to open his season with 3 consecutive multi-hit games since Martin Prado went 5 straight to start his year in 2010.
They're pretty quiet at the plate. Not a whole lot of movement. Looks pretty calm. Loose hands. His trigger. He takes his hands back nice and soft. Cole with the 90 pitch mark has to make a pitch here. 2-0.
Two balls and 1 strike. Cunningham began the season in AAA for the Braves. Had 30 games there. Called up on the 15th of May. This Braves franchise is kind of in a transition phase, not only because they're getting a new stadium in a couple of years, but on the field the roster's turned over quite a bit. And John Hart, the president of baseball operations, charged with getting this franchise back to where they were in the 90s and early 2000s, even as recently as 2013. And there's another walk, and for the second time The Braves have the bases loaded in the game. The tying runs aboard. And the pitcher's spot coming up. A pinch hitter will be sent out there. It'll be Joey Trdaslovic. He was activated from the 15-day disabled list for Friday's game. He had a sprained left wrist. When he came back, Eric Young Jr. was designated for assignment. So the Braves certainly think a lot of this switch hitter. 9 games in the minors at .310. Back-to-back walks with 2 outs have loaded the bases for Atlanta.
This would be a fine time for a ground ball at somebody.
Kniff warming up in the Braves bullpen. He also recently a AAA call-up. Archimedes Caminero warming. There's a strike and a foul ball to Trdaslovic.
And the hardest fastball of the afternoon. Not very fun to come off the bench. You go up there and you're told to be aggressive, get the first fastball you see and take a rip, and you get 99 off the fists.
1-1. One ball, 1 strike pitch to the pinch hitter Trdaslovic. And a breaking ball foul. 1-2.
Breaking ball at 87. Hard slider. Garrett Cole, he's kind of deliberate around the mound, conserving energy on this hot day. Still has more in the tank. Again, one of those big situations to where Garrett Cole can go for that punch out. Somehow staying alive, being able to fight off that 98-mile-per-hour fastball.
Uribe, the runner at third base. Hamilton Simmons is over at second. Runner at first, Cunningham. Struck him out for the second time in the ball game. Garrett Cole gets out of a bases loaded jam. Everclear performing at Stage AE June 19th. 3 runs on 8 hits for the Pirates. No runs, 5 hits for the Braves. We move to inning number 7. Andrew McCutchen will lead off, facing a new pitcher, right-hander Brandon Caniff, who appeared in Friday night's game with 2/3 of an inning on Friday, striking out 1. No runs, no hits.
Caniff, 23rd appearance, 2-1, 4.74 ERA.
And he's been warned.
Well, that's just silly.
Mark Carlson warning the benches after that pitch was way up and in.
Now, the reason that this is silly, if they thought there was any intent or not, or if they wanted payback, period, for their 2 stars being hit, Garrett Cole came to the plate. He came to the plate. He was in the batter's box. That's who you target.
McCutchen up in the air to right field. Markakis, 1 out.
Now, I'm not condoning it by any way, shape, or means, but if they were going to take offense or protect their players, their stars, Freddie Freeman and Andrelton Simmons, whether they thought it was done on purpose or not, the easiest way to do it is send the message to the pitcher who threw the pitches. He was in the batter's box twice. If you had an issue and you hit our pitcher, you hit Garrett Cole, well then Cole would rather have them throw it at him than at Andrew McCutchen, because Garrett Cole, if McCutchen gets hit and gets hurt, feels worse than anybody.
And the first time he was in the box, he was walked and ended up coming around to score the first run of the game. Second time up after the hit batsman, he performed a perfect sacrifice, a little bit closer than Freeman thought it might be, but he does get Marte by half a step.
But it's just silly. I mean, it's.
Well, one thing that's nice, at least, we haven't seen that nonsense in quite a while. McCutchen up there, he's the guy they always throw at.
And he's the guy that needs to be protected more than anybody. But, you know, who better to send the message to than the pitcher that threw the pitches? Although it's a lot easier for a reliever to come into a game and throw at somebody, because he's never going to put a bat in his hand.
Foul tip that time by Jung Ho, and it's 0-2. One for 3 today, an RBI base hit in the 5th. And Caniff's 0-2 pitch. That's up and in. Not like the up and in that McCutchen got, which was actually behind him.
And that warning's ridiculous. It was pretty obvious that he was throwing at him. We'll throw him out of the game.
And Jung Ho out on strikes. Quick 1-2-3, top of the 7th. Stretch time in Atlanta. Pirates 3, Braves nothing. We are keeping it here on this Sunday afternoon for God Bless America, as we move along here from Turner Field. On our way to the bottom of the 7th, it is time now for God Bless America.
While the storm clouds gather from far across the sea,
let us swear our allegiance to a land that's free.
let us all be grateful for a land so fair,
as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam,
presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
On with the 7th, Pirates 3, Braves nothing. Top of the order up for Atlanta. Jace Peterson to face Garrett Cole. Cole deals him a strike. Peterson 1 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout. Gregory Polanco has taken over for Jose Tabata in right field. 1 ball, 1 strike to Peterson. Cole ready for the 1-1. Here it is. Right past him. 95 miles an hour. That's high heat.
Yeah, and it's hot, humid day. You get the feeling Garrett Cole likes pitching in the heat.
Outside. Yeah, it feels like, the weather feels good. It feels like it did in Florida this year. We had a very hot spring training. More warm than we can think of, but then we went right from, for us, pseudo summer into spring, early spring again, and then
everywhere we've gone, it's been cool, actually.
2-2. That's popped up. Shallow left center field. There is Marte. 1 out. On the road, traveling, and want to watch your Pirates? Subscribe to MLB.tv Premium for live or on demand on over 400 devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Marte came over and caught that fly ball, looked back at McCutcheon, and like kind of went up and down with his hand, like to draw a line. Like, that's a your ball.
I got over here, you got over there.
Andrew just kind of let him come on over.
Two 2-0 to Maben. Well, the 3 guys who are out in the outfield right now can certainly cover a ton of ground.
Yep, good speed all the way around. Like to see the race. I think I'd take Marte.
Polanco's deceptively fast. His long legs. I mean, he's nothing deceiving about his speed. It's just he might be faster than we even think.
You gotta wonder, a 30-yard dash, a 60-yard dash, and a 100-yard dash. Would there be 3 different winners?
That's a good thought. There might be. Two strikes after falling behind 3-0. Payoff. Ripped into left field. A base hit. And Maben, another multi-hit game. 3 hits for him.
This ball was actually hit pretty hard. Hasn't been many hard hit balls off of Garrett Cole. You see him working down and away. Left that one in off the plate. Maben turns it around.
Maben's got 8 hits in this series. 3 Friday night, 2 last night, now 3 today. One on, 1 out. Freddie Freeman up. Freeman's 0 for 2. And a swing and a miss. They have been pitching him inside this whole series. Garrett got a little too far inside in the 3rd inning when he hit him on the knee. 2 ground ball outs by Freeman. Other than that today, infield shifted around for him to the right, and he goes to the left, and that ball is slicing foul.
I'd like to congratulate Bailey Bentler and all those folks in Western PA, the newly graduates, both high school and college. A big time of year this month, all the graduations and parties. And
it is a big time in a lot of kids' lives.
Yep.
Wish them all luck.
I wouldn't want to be at a graduation today.
1-2, and Freeman strikes out. Stewart holds on. Freddie Freeman is 0 for 3. Let's go back to Pittsburgh. Dan Potash standing by with his game break. Yes, we will, Dan. Looking forward to that. Garrett Cole with pitch number 114. That's a career high for him. Prior to this, it had been 112. May 24th of last year against the Washington Nationals, Garrett threw 112 pitches. Now he has gone across that threshold. Looks like Clint Hurdle wants to get him to finish this inning. 2 outs and a man aboard. Bottom of inning number 7. Runner takes off for second base. It's a high bouncer over the mound. Jordy Mercer's got the good hop and throws him out. Nothing across in the bottom of the 7th. Garrett Cole's been very good today. Jimmy Nelson 2-6 facing A.J. Burnett 6-1. Then Tuesday, Taylor Youngman will make his major league debut. He'll be called up that day from AAA Colorado Springs, and he will face Francisco Liriano. Charlie Morton will oppose Kyle Loesch in Game 3 with the Brewers on Wednesday night. The divisional matchup, Milwaukee and the Pirates starting tomorrow night. Here, the Bucks start the 8th inning with a 3-0 lead. Brandon Caniff to face Gregory Polanco. First plate appearance for Polanco this afternoon. Took over in a straight change with Tabata last inning. Garrett Cole getting hugs. What an outing for him today.
Once again, just throwing up zeros.
Ball fouled off. If Garrett gets the win, he is 9th. He'd take over the league lead. But, it would be very impressive. Number 1. But number 2, it would be his 30th win of his career. He'd go to 30-14. And if he does win, it would be 30 wins in 53 career starts. Pirates haven't had a pitcher do that since Emil Yodi in 1924. To the left field corner, long run for Cunningham, but he tracks it down. One out for the Pirates in the 8th. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Garrett Cole joined Felix Hernandez, the Seattle right-hander, with 9 wins.
Cole's ERA is going to drop today from an already low 190 to 173. That is regardless of the outcome. That ERA is not moving. ERA, a very good measure. The earned run average. Measure of how a pitcher is doing. And he's doing very well. Strike to Rodriguez. When you draft a pitcher with the first overall pick, I know you have expectations. And you got to understand, it does take a while before he becomes what you hope he becomes as a #1 overall pick. But he's starting to get there.
Yeah, you expect an ace, that's for sure. And yeah, that's the look that Garrett Cole gives you every time he takes the mound.
2-2 pitch to Rodriguez. That's up high. The count is full, 3-2. Sean with a base hit. He is 1 for 3 this afternoon. Cole started this game against left-hander Alex Wood. Wood was ejected at the end of the top of the 5th inning for having some words with home plate umpire Mark Carlson on his way off the field. 2 men out for the Pirates.
Stayed out of the middle of the plate until the last pitch at 94, just above the belt.
This is the 13th start of the season for Stewart. And in his previous 12 starts, the Pirates have done well, 9-3.
How about his catcher's ERA coming into today? 184.
1 ball, 1 strike to Stu. This year, like last year, joined the club late out of spring training due to injury. 2 years ago, he had arthroscopic surgery on a knee. It slowed him down a bit. Freddie Freeman over by the rain tarp will make the catch to retire Stewart. Pirates gone in order. As we go to the bottom of the 8th in Atlanta, 3-0 Pirates. the Pirates. Markakis here back in the third inning with the bases loaded. Then Uribe grounding out, getting out of a bases loaded jam for the first time today. It happened again later in the ball game. So we get Vazlovich, the pinch hitter, struck out Freddie Freeman, would finish with 7 strikeouts. 6 hits, scattered around a little bit, and a career high 116 pitches for Cole today.
It's amazing. He can go out there and he'll tell you he didn't have his best location this afternoon, but still no earned runs. Made big pitches when he had to.
Archimedes Caminero delivering to Juan Uribe. Uribe fouls it off. It's 0-2. Go from one flamethrower to another.
Fun with that. Caminero's last fastball at 99, just a 3.55 ERA, 30 strikeouts in 25 and a third, 26th appearance.
Uribe 2 for 3. And a double in the second inning, a base hit with 1 out in the 6th. He was stranded at third twice today. Both in the third and the 6th innings are when Garrett Cole got out of those bases loaded jams. And the Pirates bullpen charged with the task of holding on to this lead.
Again, the great pitchers, the elite pitchers, they'll give up hits, they'll walk guys, they get into trouble. But when it's time to get out of the trouble, that's when they get better. And Garrett Cole, you mentioned nobody has a hit against him this year with the bases loaded.
Uribe down on strikes.
Nasty breaking ball from Caminero to Uribe. Slider starts in the zone, breaks just down. That's a great location. Tough to lay off, especially when you're geared up for 100. If you looked at Garrett Cole's splits with nobody on the league before today, hit 250. When runners were on, 210. Scoring position 196, and as you mentioned, they don't hit him with the bases loaded.
A.J. Przinsky 0 for 3. Caminero's 0-1 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Trevor Cahill loosening up. He pitched Friday also. Had 1 good inning, 1 not so good inning. Atlanta's going to have some troubles. They are publicly saying that they are working the phones. They are trying as hard as they can to bring in bullpen help. 2-1. And a ground ball to the right side. Rodriguez grabs it. Toss to Archimedes covering. And there are 2 men out.
I'm sure there's relievers to go out there and get. I mean, I'm sure if they want relievers bad enough, they can get them. Just a matter of what they're willing to pay to get them in terms of trades or what have you. And it's still fairly early in the season in terms of trades. I think, you would think teams would wait until at least the end of June before they start unloading players, waving the white flag. A couple teams in our division, you have to wonder, Cincy, Milwaukee, do they start making deals?
There's always going to be chatter not only about teams that are starting to fade, but about teams who have high profile pitchers who are in contract years. Two and 1 to Simmons. You'll probably hear the names Johnny Cueto and Aroldis Chapman around the end of July quite a bit, if not sooner.
Yeah, well, they're not out of it yet. They're just 8 games under. And 8 games under gets you 13 back in the Central with baseball's best team statistically in terms of wins and losses. The Cardinals with 37 wins. It's 3 more than anybody else.
Ball 4. Simmons aboard with 2 outs. Yeah, it's too early to get frustrated in the standings when you see what the Pirates have been doing. You say, boy, they've been playing some very good baseball, winning a lot of games. The Pirates have won 12 and 15, 13 and 5 in the last 18 games. And then you look what the Cardinals are doing, and they're doing the exact same thing.
Got off to that good start. Cardinals started out hot, never cooled off.
Pirates have won 7 of the last 10. Cardinals have won 7 of their last 10. Todd Cunningham swings and ropes it foul. Turned around 97 miles an hour.
Well, that's what you call cheating as a hitter. Start everything early. You stay short and quick. You look for the pitch in and you start it, get it out front.
Strike 2 to Cunningham. Cunningham was 0 for 2 with a walk today. Walked last time up in the 6th. Braves begin a 4-game series with the Padres tomorrow here. We'll welcome back their former closer, Craig Kimbrell.
I'm sure they hope to not face him.
Jim Johnson and Trevor Cahill working in the bullpen for Atlanta. And Cameron Maybin will get to see his old team. Maybin now here. He used to patrol center field in San Diego. One-two pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, bottom of the 8th. For the Pirates in the 9th, it'll be the pitcher's spot. And then Harrison and Mercer. So we got a couple of guys as options to pinch hit, with 2 right-handers up in the bullpen. Pirates are going to see a right-hander. Walker or Alvarez. Ball caught in foul ground. And they'll take care of that for the Braves in the 8th. On to the 9th. Allegheny Health Network Supermo capturing some great pictures here in Atlanta. Top of the ninth, 3-0 Pirates. Pedro Alvarez will get to hit for Caminero. He'll face the right-hander Trevor Cahill. Pinch hitting appearance for Pedro this afternoon.
15th appearance for Cahill. 0-3, a 782 earned run average. Made 3 starts on the year as well.
Strike 1 to Pedro. Cahill pitched 2 innings Friday night, gave up 3 earned runs on 5 hits, while striking out 2. 1-1. Against the Braves, Pedro is a .247 hitter. He's hit 4 home runs against Atlanta. 9 home runs overall this season and a .240 average. Pedro rips it to the right side. Beat the shift that time. He's been getting a little frustrated hitting the ball hard, but right into the shift in a number of different cities where the opposition plays him. They'll play him similarly, and this time that ball just too hot to handle and hit past the second baseman Peterson.
Brzezinski wanted it away, left it in and down, and that's a good pitch for Pedro to hit. Turns on it, hits it hard.
Harrison 2 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. He doubled to lead off the ball game. One ball, one strike. Pirates picked up all 3 runs in the 5th inning off of Alex Wood. Had 4 hits, and with 2 outs and an 0-2 count, Starling Marte had a 2-run opposite field base hit, and that is through into left field for a single. 3-hit afternoon for Harrison.
It didn't even sound right. Almost sounded like the bat was hollow as Jay had to go reaching out, hooked that ball right off the end of the bat. It actually sounded, the contact he made bat to ball sounded like the sound when he dropped the bat on the ground, about the same.
Cahill with nobody out. Scahill if the Pirates score here, Melanson if they don't. Be a save situation. Melanson will be in. If not, you'll see Scahill. And the guy who will determine that is standing at second base, Pedro Alvarez. If he comes around to score, it'll be Scahill. Strike to Mercer. Jordy with a 6-game hitting streak. Singled in the 5th. Really good to see him getting things going with the bat again.
Yeah, creeping up there.
And a high chopper. That'll be 1. And that'll be 2. Double play for Atlanta. Alvarez down at third. This is our Chick-fil-A double play.
One hopper. Not trying to be too quick or fancy. Just get it to the shortstop as quick as you can. Simmons, momentum going that way, an easy throw.
From the home office here in Atlanta. Chick-fil-A home office.
Yep.
They're everywhere down here. Yellowwood bringing the lumbers from Andrew McCutchen. We look at this last night in the 4th inning. Just a frozen rope out of here. Home run number 8 for Kutch. Today he struck out twice. He's 0 for 4. He has a 7-game hitting streak going. A chance to extend that and get another run across for the Pirates. 1-1 pitch coming from Trevor Cahill.
Kutch has had some RBI opportunities. Another one here.
And there's a high chopper to Jace Peterson. Barehands it and throws on to first. A little mustard on the hot dog. And that'll take us to the bottom of the 9th inning. 3-0 Pirates trying to win a series. PNC Park. Make sure to join us for the pregame show brought to you by WB Mason. Tomorrow, getting ready for game 1 of that one. It'll be Jimmy Nelson against A.J. Burnett. And here is Mark Melanson. Melanson out there looking for another save. It would be his 18th if he gets it. And that would put him in a tie for the league lead with Trevor Rosenthal of St. Louis and Drew Storen of Washington.
He's had plenty of chances here of late. He's only blown 1 of 18. The ERA continues to decline. 2.36 on the year. And you look at where Melanson was. He picked up his 6th save May 9th. So it took him a while to get to 6. But now already looking 12 more, total of 18 in less than a month.
Pedro Siriaco will bat in the 9 spot. He'll lead off for the Braves. They don't have a left-handed option off the bat. The last one, the switch hitter, Tradaslovich, pinch hit in the 6th inning. We have Chris Johnson, Johnny Gomes, and Christian Bethancourt still on the bench. 1-1 to Siriaco. Turned out that Melanson would get a rest day yesterday after picking up save number 17 Friday. Siriaco to right field, and Gregory Polanco hauls it in for out number 1. One down, 2 to go.
Nice easy play out there for Gregory. Quick easy out for Melanson.
Peterson has not faced Melanson before. Braves second baseman standing in. And a strike to him. Stewart setting up inside. That's where it goes. Swing and a miss. Mark hit his spot.
That's a cutter. It looks like a slider. It has so much movement, but actually the cut fastball.
Melanson's 0-2 pitch to Jace Peterson. Inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I mentioned to Clint Hurdle today it'd be nice to get a win so you have a happy flight home. And he said, well, I'm not one who subscribes to the good flight home after a win. He says it's a good flight home when the wheels touch down. That's always a good flight.
Oh, yeah.
But it is a little better when you win.
Yeah. A little more festive.
One-two pitch. Struck him out. 2 down in the bottom of the 9th.
Got off the cutter, went to the hook. Started on the inside third of the plate, breaks down and in.
Cameron Maybin, 3 for 4 today. He's had a good afternoon. Has not scored a run, although he's been on base 3 times. 1 more out to get. Maybin fouls it off. With a win today, the Pirates would have their most successful road trip of the season. A 10-game roadie, 2 West Coast cities, and the Pirates would go 7-3. It's been since 2005 since the Pirates went 7-3 on a road trip. It's not a common occurrence.
It's a lot of wins on one trip. Get the Pirates road record back up to 500.
Maybin pops this one up, foul right side. Rodriguez chasing it, but that'll be up into the seats for strike 2. Pirates split with San Diego, 2 each in the 4-game series. They swept the world champion Giants, and they're 1 out away from taking this series with the Braves after coming off a homestand where they swept the Mets and Miami back-to-back, following 2 losses to start that homestand to the Twins, but really picked it up after the Twins left town. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 2 strikeouts for Melanson. He's now tied for the league lead in saves. Garrett Cole has the league lead in wins with 9 as the Pirates go to 31-25, back to 6 games over 500, matching their high mark of the season.
What a great trip. And really, you go and look at the big pitches and the big situations. Cole made the big pitches and the big situations, was able to get out of a couple jams. That man right there, Starling Marte, with the at-bat of the game.